All right, what's going on YouTube? We're back again with another tutorial. As you can see by the title, we are doing a Protect type beat. I think I nailed this one pretty good. I hope you guys enjoy. If you haven't already, follow, like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. Share this video and just interact with the video so the algorithm works in my favor. So yeah, like I said, we're gonna do a Protect type beat today. So let's go ahead and hop into FL Studio and get started. All right, guys, now that we're in FL Studio, so let's go ahead and start with the first sound, right? Let's solo it. This is the first sound that I've got. And if you guys hang out till the end of the video, I'll go over each and every single, sound preset and everything, or sound that I went through, the actual type of sound that it is, and the melody as well. So let's go ahead and check out this first melody. So this is the first melody that I came up with when I first started this type of beat. Right, pretty simple. Then here is the second melody that I added to that, which is like my background noise, something that kind of is like a filler. So the key to these sounds and his type of style are using very ambient, soft, melodic-y type of noises, and then doing kind of like a call and response, so they kind of like talk to each other. So now listen to these two together and you'll hear what I'm talking about. All right, and so next we got a plug. Here's the plug. And so my goal with this melody, this loop, was to do the call and response for the background and the main melody, so that way that would be playing the whole entire time, so it constantly sounding different like every few bars. So I guess the best way to put it is every 2 bars it's going to sound the same, then every 3rd and 4th bar it's going to sound different, then the next bar is going to be well, actually that's going to be first and second, and then second and 3rd bar, sorry, and then the 4th bar is going to be empty. So it kind of makes it it's what I call floating the beat, and lets the beat float. Like you kind of can hear the beat and vibe with it for a second because there's space there, right? And then I fill up that space with another sound. So my goal was to fill up the first part of the melody, then fill up the second part, and then have a continuous pluck or some other type of melody in between that's going to continuously play, but that I put in sometime in the middle of the beat. And so this is how I got all 3 of these sounds together. And again, like I said, just that call and response, and then filling it in with the actual melody there, and then using those soft, ambient, melodic type of sounds, right? Nothing too harsh and nothing too aggressive. So then I went in and added a bell for my 4th melody in this loop. So here we go. I'm sorry, guys. So then I added a 4th melody in my loop, and this is that 4th melody. Right. So then you get all 4 of them, and this is the loop here. Okay. Then we're going to head on over to the drums. With the drums, this is what I got. So you just do a typical hi-hat pattern. I added like a little stutter here, if you can hear that. And again, throw a little clap in there, normal clap, snare. Again, call and response, if you notice, call and response between those snares. And then, or oops, no, I'm sorry, not these snares, the clap, the snare, and then now the second snare you'll hear a call and response. All right, the little breath sound I always add. And then we got the 808. Then we got the 808. All right, so now that you've got your drums and your instruments together and your loops together, or your melodies, however you do it, throw it all together into one pattern as you would like this, and then this is what you get together. If you guys stick around to the end of this video, I'll go ahead and break down every sound, everything in the beat, so that way you can see everything in depth. But yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial, and follow, like, comment, subscribe, and let's go ahead and hear what this beat sounds like together. So we'll be back next week for another tutorial. So let's go ahead and check this beat out. Peace. All right, guys, and if you stuck around and stayed this long, as always, like I normally would, let's go through and let's really break this beat down and really get into the nitty gritty. So I appreciate you guys that stick around to the end of the video to actually watch all the extra breakdown stuff. This is really where the sauce is. This is for the really serious producers and dedicated musicians and artists. So let's hop on into the first melody. So let's switch over to pattern mode again. First melody is this, and I'll give you kind of my thinking behind it. Ethereal Planet, this is under Factory, and it is a E piano. So when I started off with this, I always start off with a piano, and usually I use that piano to make the melody, then I switch it up, change it, or whatever. And I knew I was coming into this thinking a little bit differently on how I was going to do this melody, so I was kind of experimenting. So if you watch the full cook up video, you'll be able to see what I mean by in the beginning how I was experimenting. So here's that melody. And when I heard this melody, instantly I was like, oh yeah, this is like a very melodic ambient type of sound. This is definitely probably going to be something that I use consistently. So I know from now on, this is another cheat code and trick, that I like to pick out certain sounds that I know are going to be like my signature sound that I'm going to use a lot. So something like Partles in Purity. I knew when I heard that sound, I was like, oh, I'm going to use this a lot. I like this sound quite a bit. This is one of those sounds that I think I'll probably implement quite a bit. And the fact that it's a piano, I really like that as well. So that's how I got that first melody. Once I got that first melody, then we move on to the second melody. I knew I wanted to do the call and response and fill in this space here. So I came up with this melody. And as you can see, the first 4 bars are a little bit different than the second 4 bars in this one. All right. I can't remember exactly how I came up with this. I think I may have just piggybacked off of the first melody that I made, or either this is built from the first melody. I can't remember. I think I may have just piggybacked off of this, like clicked in those notes. So after doing the call and response for the main melody and the background noise, I went ahead and threw a pluck in there. This is the pluck. Oh, did I go over this background noise sound? Bell ARP. It's actually an ARP. Yep. All right, and then this is also in Serum. If I didn't go over the first one, I can't remember. Oh yeah, I did. Also in Serum. And then we've got this third melody. Here's the third melody, just built off of the first 2 melodies. Actually, let's mute these. Now, when I heard this sound, I instantly knew that I was going to use it, and it definitely was sounding like a Pro-Tech beat. So I had the combination of these 2 sounds, and knew that it was like, yeah, this sounds like Pro-Tech. How can I continue to go through this pathway of making it sound like Pro-Tech? So that's when I came up with this 4th melody. Now that pluck sound was Moon Solar. That's one I'll probably end up using as well quite often. That's under pluck. Then I came up with this 4th melody. Let's just go ahead and go over this sound. This is a bell, sweet ring mode bell, mod bell. It's under bell. And this is that bell sound. And when I heard that, I was like, dang, that also sounds like a Pro-Tech type of sound. So all these sounds gave me the Pro-Tech vibe. And so that's kind of where I was aiming and shooting for after I started kind of, messing around. So this is the loop in full again. Right. Then we move on to the hi-hats. Hi-hats. I noticed with this new vibe, new style, there's a lot of 1-step. So I did a 1-step roll, right? Then I added a little stutter to make it slow down to a 2-step vibe right here. And when I hear it like this, it sounds like it should be off, but as you hear when we go through the other instruments, it's not going to throw you off. Because I leave a gap here. And then I knew on the second half of this, again, we want the first 4 bars to be slightly different than the last 4 bars, right? I knew I wanted it to be 2-step all the way straight through, since it's only a 1-step, like for the first few, kind of bars. balls. I noticed I didn't add any like panning or oh wait, did I do? Yeah, I think I actually, no, I didn't do any panning, and I didn't move these up and down any octaves. I wanted to kind of keep the 808 or the hi-hat pattern straight, just kind of going all the way through. I noticed a lot of his beats are like that. And so next, you just add a generic clap in there. Nothing special there, just got it in the right note. That's another thing. Always make sure everything is in the right, key. It matches the beat. Then we added our snare in there. Right. I always like to do call and response with my twin snares, and if you notice, I did in the snares different ears as well. And with these Protect beats, if you notice, as long as you're doing this little snare triplet right here with a melodic type of melody that I'm made for you guys, like showed you, as long as you're doing something like that and throwing this snare in there, this little like snare roll setup, like it's going to sound like a Protect beat, right? Then you just throw your simple sauce in there. Obviously I throw the normal breath sound in there that I always do. So now it sounds like a Protect beat, but it sounds like a Milan Makes Beats Protect beat. You like, let's just use Gucci Mane for example. Typically when people think of Gucci Mane, they think of Gucci and Zay, right? Like they have an iconic sound together. You want to have a sound of your own, just like how Zay has a sound of his own that makes you think of an artist, but you still think of the producer as a separate entity, as a separate person. That's how you build your personal brand. And we'll talk more about the personal branding stuff in other videos and maybe even on a different channel. But you want to basically brand yourself to where you sound like the art. You can make the artist style beat while still sounding like you. You don't want to sound like that artist producers style. So basically, hopefully that wasn't too confusing. Basically, if I wanted to work with Gucci, I wouldn't want to sound like Zaytoven, me sounding like Zaytoven working with Gucci type beat. I wouldn't want to send that type of beat. I'd want to send him something more along the lines of a me type beat that sounds like a Gucci beat, not a me beat that sounds like a Zaytoven beat because Zaytoven and Gucci work together. Hopefully that makes sense and kind of makes things clear, because I don't want to sound like Protect's producer. I don't want to sound like him. I want to sound like myself, but sound like I made a beat for Protect, right? So hopefully that kind of clears things up for you guys and helps you guys in the future when we're making type beats and different artist beats. So let's hop back into it. And now we got the 808. This is the 808 pattern, something very simple. I started off with something a little bit more complex, but I notice artists always pick the simpler beats because it's a lot easier to hop on and flow on. So that's another tip, is make your beats a little bit more simpler and less complex as far as the 808s go, simply because you're making a beat for the artist to make a song on, and the average listener of a song isn't going to be impressed by a whole bunch of 808s, crazy rolls, and all this extra stuff, because they're the average everyday listener. So simple 808s, I notice, place better because of that reason, because the average listener, which is typically an artist, is an average listener type person. They're just creative enough to make a song and put it together. So let's hop into this 808 and show you this 808 pattern. This is it right here. All right, and so with the 808, you want to do something kind of simple but heavy hitting, and something that like using an 808 that like drags along and continues to like play, like they bump into each other, like there's no gap or space in between the sound. you want to set it up like that, however you do that, or if you have a particular 808 like that. So then when you throw it all together, that's how you get everything, man. These are all the sounds and everything. This is the breakdown. Let's hop in and see what I got on here. So here on insert 1 on my EQ, just for my melodies, this is what I got. Let's actually turn these off real quick. Just cutting out all the bass and the low end, rolling off some of the highs. Convolver, delay 2, fresh air. Then you got your 808. All right. That's the 808 frequency bell. Got it down 7. I got it down to 7 dB, and then 100% stereo separated. This is the parametric EQ preset set to punch. This one is for sub bass preset, and that's it, guys. That's it on the master. I just got a soft clipper and got my claps and snares. I only got the fruity parametric EQ. I got it on the snare setting. I just kind of got the volume down 9 dB, and then that's it, guys. That's as simple as it gets. That's as broken down as I can get it for you guys. So if you stuck around and stayed this long, drop a comment down in the comment section. Say full vid gang or something like that, or we'll say or hashtag full vid, or just make a comment saying full vid or full watch or something like that. Some secret word, I don't know. Yeah, something along those lines. And you know, hopefully you guys continue to watch these videos and enjoy them, learn from them, and you know, we'll continue to make some more stuff like this in the future. If you haven't already, comment, like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff, and yeah, we'll go from here, guys. So hope you guys enjoyed the tutorial and appreciate the video. We'll be back next week, and we'll be back on these tutorials again, man. So yeah, let's get to it. Peace.